You can hear me now? The mic had a problem. Okay, everyone can see me and hear me now. Let me fix this. All right, you guys got any questions? English questions? Let me know. Everything's fixed. The lights, the boards, the mic. Let's hear your questions. Mosin, hi, what's up? Braxton, welcome. Diallo, Magna, I see you guys. Jatath. Jatath says, Jatath. I don't see a question mark. I don't see a question. Where's your question mark? Syed, hi. Layla asked, you must be sleeping on the floor again. Isn't supposed to be. You must be. What do you think? I saw it on a webtoon. You must be sleeping on the floor again, right? No, that's correct. You must be sleeping on the floor again. You must be sleeping. Jatath, what's your question? I want to help you, but you need a proper question mark. Magna, I have a question. Could you please tell me the difference between while and during? No, that is not. They're not the same thing. And did I do a video on while, during? During. Well, I'm going to give you a clue here. During is usually followed by a noun. So I might say, during the movie, I heard a noise. And then while, the grammar's a little different. So while I was watching the movie, so while I was watching, I heard a noise. All right? Now, they sound similar in their usage. Like, some action was happening and then another action occurred while that main action was happening. Yes, they mean the same. They're very similar in that case. But technically, if you get to the real definition, there's a little difference in the meaning between during and while. But anyway, you would say during followed by a noun, and then while I or while he, something like that. But I can't really go into the difference between during and while because that is grammar and that needs a lot of example sentences, and I would have to research a little more on the differences. Hello, Sleepwalker. Is there any difference between price and brace? Yes. For the P sound, price, brace. Price, brace. And Jatath, super acting, no complaints or complaints. No complaints. You want a noun. No complaints. No, that's a noun. Nevc Academy, hello. And Layla, I tried to make this sentence. I couldn't watch TV. I couldn't watch a TV show last night because the electricity was off. I want to know how to describe. Okay. I couldn't watch a TV show last night because the power went out. Something like that. We say the power went out. If you said the electricity was off, I understand, but we would probably say the power was off or the power went out. Something like that. During is past tense and while is present tense. That's not how you should look at during and while. I'm going to say no. That's not how we use that. They're... Nevsy, what's the title about? 62.2. Well, this is the 60-second Q&A, and this is part 2. I did part 1 about 30 minutes ago. I was outside. Layla, it was weird having my mother back around. Isn't supposed to be it is having my mother. No. Having my mother back around. It is having having my mother back around. That's not a full sentence. You didn't use the full sentence because there should be 2 clauses. Having my mother back around is nice. Oh, you put a period after weird. Maybe you should say it was weird having my mother back around. That sentence would be fine. Yeah, Layla used some bad words, so I can't talk about the bad words. Sorry. And the word you wrote is a bad word. When he gave a cry of surprise, does it mean very surprised? A cry of surprise, yeah. Big surprise. He's not crying, just the noise, kind of shout, ah. Molson, what's the difference between affect and effect? Well, affect is the verb and effect is a noun. That's a very big difference. So if you understand what a verb is and how to use a verb and a noun. So Molson, why don't you bring some example sentences? One sentence using affect and one sentence using effect, and show me that you can use affect as a verb and effect as a noun. Stephanie Paulus, hello. Nevsy, will Esther cover all English tenses? Yes, she will teach all 12 English tenses. Esther has a lot of fans, more fans than me. All right, so we got a good question here. We in whilst mean while? Yeah, whilst and while. Whilst we ate dinner, he told me all that. Now, in American English, we don't use whilst as much or never. I think British English still uses whilst. But they should mean the same thing. So American English, we're not going to use whilst. We're just going to use while. Layla, come here. I want to see my son Jarrett. Is come here contraction for come here? Yeah, come here. Come here. They're not saying come here. They're saying come here, come here, come here. Only for spoken English. Layla, I always talk to myself in English out loud. I always talk to myself in English loudly. Well, those are very different things. I talk to myself in English out loud. So right now I'm talking to myself out loud. Well, if I say, for example, it's such a beautiful day. All right, I'm talking out loud to myself. If you're talking loudly, that means you're increasing the voice. I'm talking loudly. Very different meaning. FC, no, Esther has her unique style and you have your own, but I love the way you choose different teachers. I love your tutorials too and watch them one by one. Well, thank you, Nevsi, but I think your level is higher than my channel. My channel is very for kind of basic level students, and Nevsi, you're pretty good. I don't think you need to watch Esther. Layla, you can't. No, Layla, I can't talk about these words, Layla. Sorry, Layla. I can't talk about bad words. Everyone, I can't talk about bad words. Teaches. Aman Khan, hello. When do we watch your live stream, Aman Khan? When do we watch you teach us? Win, how about accent? Here, I'm going to move this. I'm going to move the chat up here so I'm more looking at the camera. All right, Win, how about accent? Some teachers teach how to speak up and down at the end of the sentence here. I don't like it. What do you think? You're talking about accent or intonation? Intonation is the rising and falling of the sound of a sentence. Intonation is important. I'm not sure what your question is. You're talking about accent or intonation? I'm not sure. Sleepwalker, if you still didn't prepare next topic for our lessons, I suggest topic passive voice for all tenses. What do you think, Sleepwalker? Passive voice. Sleepwalker, I really don't know why so many students are so interested in the passive voice. It's important, but it's really students really care so much about the passive voice. And then you say all tenses. Let's see how difficult it is to teach the passive voice. All tenses. Wow, you're asking a lot. Yeah, I might try that, Sleepwalker, but that's really advanced. I'm looking at the passive voice all tenses, and first of all, you have to be pretty good at all tenses to begin with before we can do the passive. So that might be a problem. I'll check into it. I'll try to do it basic. I can do a basic passive. Yeah, I'll try that. I'll definitely check that, Sleepwalker. And it looks like I might be able to do, because I don't like to do too difficult, but I might be able to do a kind of intermediate level of the passive voice in English. I'll check into that. Thanks for your suggestion. Nevsi, thank you, but if you don't know the fundamentals, you can't move on forward. I'm your student like for all the time. All right, thank you, Nevsi Academy. Layla typed some questions that use bad words, and YouTube is gonna block those questions. So if you need to ask me questions about bad words, WhatsApp is better. YouTube, I can't really talk about bad words here because children are watching, and some people might be upset if I talk about bad words. So I try to keep it clean. So if you ask some question about a bad word, I'll probably delete it. I really want to answer it, but I can't with YouTube. Man, when will you do a live stream with Luke? Well, Luke started doing live streams. I suggested it to him. I suggested many things to Luke, but Luke wants to do his own thing. Maybe I can do with Luke soon. I don't know. We'll see. I've offered for Luke to do a live stream with me on my main channel, but he hasn't. I don't know. I'll talk to him this week. I talk to him every week. I talk to Luke a little bit, and I hope his channel gets a little bit better. Intonation. Intonation is very important for learning English. All right. Intonation adds more information about if a person is angry, upset, sad. So you get more of emotional information for the language. So, and questions. Intonation is very important for questions and things like that. So don't think intonation is stupid. It's very important. Nevc, can you explain the word do in some example sentences? Well, Nevc, usually I like the students to bring an example sentence because it shows me that you did a little bit of homework. Let's see if I can put something on the board. Oh, I don't have my eraser. I'll have to use this eraser. All right, homework is due tomorrow. So that means you have to give me the homework tomorrow. Another word is deadline. The deadline for your homework is tomorrow. It is due tomorrow. So due, I am expecting it tomorrow. Is that the meaning of due you're asking about? Aman, what's your favorite idiom? I try not to use idioms, Aman, but my favorite one, I'm not really aware of the idioms I use. Let's see. I'm just going to check common idioms and see which ones I use. In English, the older the person gets, the more idioms they use. So I'm not that old yet to use always use idioms, but I guess a piece of cake. It's a piece of cake. I use that a lot. That's a common idiom, piece of cake, which just means it's easy. Is that my favorite? I don't think it's my favorite, but I definitely say it a lot. Aman, I was looking or I looked. You got to finish the sentence. I don't know. I was looking at a cat. I looked at a cat. You got two different grammar. What are you trying to express? That's different grammar tenses. Yeah, passive and active voice, even native speakers I know have some difficulties. I don't think native speakers have difficulties saying them, but certainly teaching them without confusing students is difficult, but I'll do my best. Layla, everyone's interested in the topic on Sunday. Well, I'll figure it out. Niana Amanda. Hello, Niana Amanda. Hello, it's my first time watching your live stream. Are you an English teacher? Yes, and your English looks pretty good, Niana Amanda. I know I don't look like an English teacher, but I do come on here time to time to try and help students. I'm not the best English teacher. I have a lot of weaknesses, but I am trying. Thank you, Nevc, for your support, and Layla for your support. Yeah, Layla, why do we need wait on me, man? Why did they put... Oh, wait. Wait on is a phrasal verb. I see. Wait on me. See, context is very important because wait on... yeah, wait on has two meanings. In the earlier live stream, I was talking about the waiter waits on the customers, but I see now the wait on me is more of a wait for me, or a wait. Well, that's what the diction. Well, here, this is what Google is saying. Await the convenience of. So anyway, wait on me is similar to wait for me. You know that, but it's a little bit different. That's quite advanced phrasal verb. Where did you see that? In the book? That would take me a few more examples to teach wait on, and it's not that common. But your question is, why did they put on after wait instead of for? Because wait on me is a common one. It isn't an English expression. You know, English has many ways to say the same thing. Mankan, I used to watch his stream. Are you talking about Luke? He just started live streaming. When I speak, I'm very anxious that my voice is strong without intonation. What should do? Oh, well, to practice intonation, you have to mimic. You have to copy native speakers. So when you gotta listen to a lot of native speakers speak, and you gotta hear how they raise their voice and lower their voice on certain words and sentences. You know, it's music, and you got to learn that music, and that requires a lot of listening and then copying intonation. So intonation is something you have to learn. Exposure, lots of listening, and copying native speakers. I think I would have to listen to your voice again in WhatsApp, and then I can help you better there. Nevsky, thank you. The word do has different meaning and usage, but that's the thing that makes it confusing. Well, what else does do mean? What are the other meanings of do? Yeah, it has other meanings, certainly, but I can't really go into all of them because there's about 5 different meanings of do. Now, if you tell me the one you're confused about, I can help you. Your live stream is a piece of cake. It's easy. It's a piece of cake. All right. I was looking at the wall, or I looked at the wall. All right. You got two different time tenses here. Now, when you say I was looking at the wall, there's usually another clause. Something, we need more information. I was looking at the wall when I saw a spider. All right? You can't just say I was looking at the wall. We need more information in that sentence. I looked at the wall. Again, what are you talking about? Why did you look at the wall? But anyway, I looked at the wall. You can use that expression. So, a man, Khan, when you're trying to construct your sentence and you're asking me, I was looking or I looked at, I need more information of what you're trying to say. Why did you look at the wall, or why are you looking at the wall? I'll give it. So I was looking at the wall when I saw a spider. So we would need that. I looked at the wall last night. So there's two ways. We're expressing different kinds of information with different tenses. Piece of cake. You spelled piece wrong. It should be piece, not peace. Nevsy. Americans ask questions like this. What did you say? You and Esther say mimic us in the beginner 1 and 2 English course. Yep. Mimic. What do you mean Americans ask questions like this? What's the difference? What's the difference between looking for and figure it out? Well, looking for is searching, and figure out is solving a problem. So what kind of sentence? You could say they could mean similar things if... Oh, I don't like this eraser. Usually I have the cloth, it goes fast. So I'm looking for the solution to my problem. I'm trying to figure out, that's on the board, the solution. So in a sense, they mean the same thing in this example, not every example. So I'm searching, I'm trying to find a solution. And here I'm trying to figure out, I'm trying to solve the problem, get the solution. So Yana, Amanda, I want to help you a little more, but if you have an example sentence, that will help me understand what exactly you're confused with. Nevsy Academy, do you happen to know instead of do you know? Whoa, what's your question? I don't see a question mark, Nevsy. Do you happen to know? Oh, do you happen to know instead of do you know? You have to, Nevsy, it's very confusing to me if you don't put question marks, because you have 2 questions there, but you have no question marks. Do you happen to know instead of do you know? So do you happen to know? I guess that's a more friendly way for speaking. I would say that's usually used for speaking. Do you happen to know where the ATM is? Do you happen to know where the hair shop is? It's kind of a friendly way of asking. Do you know? They mean the same thing. All right, see you, Layla. I always use continuous form like this, was looking or sometimes looked. What kind of sentences are you saying, Aman Khan? What kind of sentences? What kind of information? FC, Americans ask questions like this doctor happens to know. This doctor happens to know instead of do you know? The happen to know. He happens to know. That's not an easy. There's so many situations we're going to use happen to know, and it's really, I got to think of all 10,000 situations. So if I asked, do you happen to know if there's class tomorrow? In that case, I'm asking, is there a chance you know? Okay, so there's a certain style of asking questions. So do you happen to know might mean you don't know. Is there a chance? Is it possible that you know this information? So I know my explanation is weak because that's really advanced English there. But with a few more examples, sentences, you might get a better sense of when we would use do you happen to know? Lots of people are leaving here. And if I asked, do you, like maybe you're expecting someone doesn't have that information, but you ask them anyways. Do you happen to know the time? And they might say no, or yeah, I do. And oh, great, you know the time, great. All right, yellow, bye. Niana, thank you, Robin. Which one is correct? I'm seeing you or I see you. What's the difference between both? The sentence is talking about the situation right now. Well, good question. I'm seeing you. If it was happening right now, I would say I see you. We're not gonna express that I'm seeing you happening right now. Just I see you. Because see is one of those stative verbs, the five senses. You know, we don't usually use the five senses. Hear, see, touch, all that in the continuous form. We usually just say in the present simple form, I see you, I hear you, I touch you. And that would mean right now for the five senses. So yeah, let me check that. I think that's called the stative verb, right? So we don't usually use these stative verbs in the continuous form for now. Like I would say I love you. I wouldn't say I'm loving you right now. It would be I love you right now because that's the emotion. Emotion is a stative verb. So senses, emotions, we're not going to use in the continuous form. So you would have to check here. Here's a link. I can't really go into too much detail, but I'll put a link if you're really interested in. It talks about stative verbs. Aman Khan, how to pronounce decomposer? Decomposer. You heard that? Decomposer? What is a decomposer? Is that a machine? I don't even know. Decomposer is an organism that decomposes. Where did you hear that? It's kind of a scientific name. That's not a common word, decomposer. Nevsi, crash means breaking something. Well, yeah, a car crash, but a crash course on something. Yeah. Crash would be kind of intensive, very quick and intensive course. So that's a little different meaning. But yeah, we use a crash course. Intensive and quick course. What does Revenge Day mean? I don't know. What is Revenge Day? Doesn't sound very positive. Revenge? Ooh, who's getting Revenge Day? And there, I see in Libyan national holiday, there's Day of Revenge, but I don't know what Revenge Day. Oh, in the Urban Dictionary, I see a definition. All right. Interesting. All right. So this looks like some new slang. And this is Revenge Day from the Urban Dictionary. The day after your girlfriend or boyfriend breaks up with you. So you break up the next day. You put in extra effort to look sexy, to make them regret their decision. So the Urban Dictionary says that's Revenge Day. So I hope that helps you win. Yes, I used to. Aman Khan. I'm not sure how to pronounce plateau. Plateau. That's, I believe, from a French. That's a loan word from French language. Plateau, because it has a French pronunciation. Plateau. Let's see the origin. From French. Plateau. So, a similar word would be bureau. Let me type it here. Bureau, which is a department, like the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. What else is O? Chateau, I guess, is the French or big kind of rich, like small castle, something like that. But these are from French words: plateau, bureau, and chateau. Nevsi, with new generation and migrants, languages change. Yes. Well, yeah, new generations. Slang changes. Idioms stay the same. Idioms and proverbs, they last forever, but slang changes very quickly. Layla, I've been trying to call you for the past 2 days. I think the past 2 days has the same meaning of the last 2 days. Yep. The past 2 days, the last 2 days. Yep. I think it's going to be the same. Sounds same to me. All right, guys, I'm going to finish up the live stream in the next few minutes. It's 1:45 and I would like to get to sleep earlier than 1 a.m. I got stuff to do after this, so I'll just finish up any last questions. Do you think watching movies improves your English? Yes. I live in a non-English speaking country and I find it useful and joyful to learn besides course I take. Yes. So NAVC Academy, one of the keys to learning English is finding something you enjoy in English. And for a lot of people, that's movies and music. So if you really enjoy English, movies, and music, that can be a way to really study and learn English. Carrie, another student, she's not here, but she really likes Twitter. So she's been using Twitter for years and learning a lot of English from Twitter. So she enjoys it. As a teacher, do I want my student to learn English from Twitter or movies? It's not the best way, but if you love it, do it. I was calling you for the last 2 days, or I have been I have been calling you for the last 2 days. I've been. So Aman Khan, the correct grammar is I would probably say I've contraction. I've been calling you for the last 2 days. But you're going to hear many native speakers say I was calling you for the last 2 days, but the better way is I have been calling you for the last 2 days. Layla, why is heart suddenly racing? Race going fast. Beating fast. Yeah, the heart is racing. If you hear that expression, my heart is racing, beating fast. All right, Niana, thank you. Good night. All right, Nevsi. Stephanie, Paulus, thank you. Sarah, hello from Lebanon. Well, I'm just finishing up Sarah, so maybe we can talk more in the future. And thank you guys so much. All right. Yeah, I did a lot of work today. So thank you. And if you enjoyed what you saw, please consider supporting me to do these live streams. Buy me a coffee, send me, or if you really enjoyed, you can buy me dinner. So thanks a lot. And Nevsi. All right. Thank you guys. Nevsi. Very interesting. Okay. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about it. Sorry. See you Sunday. I will probably talk about passive voice. All tenses passive voice. Let's see. See you guys.